morning. You're welcome to Aspheric TV Morning News Brief. My name is Amini Insibi Clifford, and with me in the studio I have Mr. Musti. Mr. Musti, good morning.
Good morning.
If you're just joining us, this is Morning News Brief on Aspheric TV, where we bring you daily updates on the national newspapers. Today, we'll be looking at the different headlines from The Punch to The Nation to This Day and all other newspapers. If you're just joining us, don't forget to subscribe to our Facebook channel, our YouTube channel, I beg your pardon. We are Aspheric TV on YouTube. On Facebook, we are Official Aspheric News. On Instagram, we are Aspheric News. And don't forget to visit our website, which is www.officialaspheric.news.com. We'll go on a short break, and when we're back, we're going to give you the news in details. Stay tuned. You're welcome back. This is Aspheric TV's news update. Today we'll be looking at the headlines from the Nation newspaper. The Nation newspaper said, Wike bombs Ayu, PDP chairman as party crisis deepens. On the next newspaper headline is the Punch newspaper, which says NNPC can't justify 6.34 trillion petrol subsidy, customs. The next headline there is This Day Life, says Northern Elders Forum says that North won't vote on ethnic and religious sentiments. The next headline is from the Daily Trust. PDP crisis worsens as Wike insists on Ayu's resignation. We have from Daily Trust, Nigerians' debt hits 41.6 trillion naira, says DMO. We'll look at the headlines one after the other. Mr. Musti, the most interesting part of it I want us to talk about is the issue on the This Day newspaper that talked about the Northern Elders Forum. The This Day newspaper said, the headline said, North won't vote on ethnic and religious sentiments, says the Northern Elders Forum. Says region carries car off one it voted twice, once against exploitation of its diversity. What do you think about this development from the Northern Elders Forum?
Well, it's just like when we say a patient is in the theater for an operation. That is the situation that with Nigeria today. If you know, Nigeria now is like we have an election come to 2023, and in that election will determine a lot of things. It will determine the unity about Nigeria. Some people are aggrieved, especially from the southeast, I beg your pardon. They are like aggrieved. They have been saying that they have been marginalized since
1999.
Since 1999, they have been marginalized. They have not been able to be at the VP, either VP or the president. They have not been there. So, and they are looking at this 2023 as their own chance. So, and it's against this backdrop that you see the Northern Elder Forum, that is NEF, that are coming out to speak because of Atiku, Vice President Atiku of the PDP. People are speculating that, look, Atiku being from the north, most likely Northerners would troop
Want
behind
to
him
vote
to vote
Atiku.
for him. And it is that against that background that the Northern Elder Forum come out now to make that clarification that they are not going to vote based on ethnicity and religion.
Okay,
It's timely.
It's in a guise of supporting Atiku,
Yeah,
not
so
being on an ethnic or religious background.
No, they are not saying that, look, Atiku should not assume that, look, because he's a Northerner, they will throw their support behind him. And that is what they are telling the Nigerians now, that they are trying
So
to
it means they can support anybody.
they can support anybody. They are out to support anybody.
Okay, I think that's also a good one when it comes to national politics.
Yeah,
I think
it's a good one. It's a good
religion
one.
and ethnic sentiment.
These are the two factors tearing this country apart.
but you can't rule it out when it comes to our political calculations.
No. You can't completely rule it out.
Nigeria is still largely polarized.
Yeah.
You understand?
If you observe very well, there's no way that we can avoid that, because even take for instance the issue in the APC, you discover that before the main presidential candidate made his decision on who to become his running mate, there was a kind of argument here and there. There was this speculation that he will make a Muslim ticket behind him to be his running mate. Eventually, he did that. And why did he do that? You now discover that within North, people assume that he will pick a Northern Christian to be his running mate, but it became an issue whereby some well-placed, meaningful Northerners, they came out, they said, look, categorically, they stated it that, look, if Tinubu made a Northern Christian his running mate, they are not going to vote for him. So you understand? That is to tell us that, look, whether we like it or not,
religion and ethnicity
play a part,
a very big part.
Very big part. So
we can't rule
if
it
you
out.
look at it very well too, like the Peter Obi of the Labour Party, you see that there is a kind of a mass support from the southeast behind him. Although it's understandable because, like we said, since 1999,
they have not had
so you should expect that emotional attachment behind him. So that one is understandable, but we cannot completely rule out that. But in this case now, Northern Elder Forum. Also, let's not forget that, look, there is Northern Elders Forum, which is different from Arewa People's Congress.
Okay.
So you discover that almost every time Arewa Congress, they are like at opposite each other. Probably days coming, months coming now, you now discover that Arewa Forum now
can declare support
Atiku. And then you discover that these people will now say, no, we are not supporting.
Well, for me, I feel it has always been that they've always had a united Northern Front when it comes to national politics.
No, it's that is from the outside.
From the outside.
So from the outside, the outlook is as if the North is united.
See, right now, if an average Northerner, let's keep the elites apart, the political class apart, an average Northerner would always vote for a Northern candidate over every other region.
Because of the language and the...
Yes, that's what we're looking about. The only people that would not take sides are those that have personal interest and those that will reason beyond ethnic lines.
Yeah.
But Atiku stands a chance of winning majority of the votes in the North, judging from the fact that...
Don't forget that, look, the running mate to the APC candidate too is also from the North. And don't forget that the running mate to Labour Party too is also from the North.
Well, that's also a very good fact to consider. But let's move forward. The next headlines that I want us to talk about is Nigeria's debt. On the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, it said Nigeria's debt hit 41.6 trillion naira. How do we survive as a country with this kind of statistics?
Well, debt itself is not like a death sentence to any nation's economy. Even the advanced countries too, they borrow. What matters in borrowing is what do you borrow for. You understand? And in this case now, why our own figure, such a staggering figure, is disturbing is because we borrow so much money, but we don't have what to show for what we borrowed for. It means that most of this borrowing we borrow to fund recurrent expenditure, which is doesn't count to growth of to growth. It doesn't grow the Nigerian economy. It doesn't.
No, you're not borrowing for investment.
You're not borrowing for development. You're not borrowing for capital project. It's only when you borrow for capital project whereby you execute capital project that can last even 100 years. You understand? So most of our borrowing here, we borrow to like on a recurrent expenditure overhead costs, whereby to pay salaries and like that. And that is why it's hitting us hard. And the most disturbing part of the borrowing is that right now, you know, there's an indices between a relationship between the borrowing, your revenue, and what you borrow, and the interest rate they are going to pay. What we are borrowing now, we are spending over 80% of our revenue servicing debt, and we keep on borrowing. You understand? That is the disturbing part of it. It's like we will hit that certain level whereby we won't be able to borrow again because we of inability to service our debt. And when we can't service our debt, it's like we are mortgaging our economy, and that is where we are heading to right now. And I'm telling you now that look, the next administration, I pity whoever is going to be the president in the next administration, because he's going to inherit a very big baggage. Trying
to solve a lot of things that have gone wrong.
First of all, we are talking about dwindling revenue. Like presently now, the present administration are saying, look, they are dealing with dwindling of revenue. The oil revenue is not has not been able to climb beyond $60 per barrel, whereby they're having shortfall
because of the low demand.
The low demand again, and our budget you now discovered we are running a budget deficit. How do they meet up that deficit? That is where they now resort to borrowing. I hope you understand what we're talking about now. So when they resort to borrowing now, you are borrowing at a time whereby bulk of your revenue going into servicing of the previous debt. That is where the problem comes. And another thing now, since you can now see now that it's the debt management office that are coming out to say this, that is the official figure now, that 41.6 trillion so far our debt profile, and we keep on borrowing. You know, at a time like this, when you have somebody to say, okay, you have a problem, instead of to look for solution, we are now adding and piling up more problem to ourselves.
Yeah.
But the problem is that President Muhammadu Buhari, since inception of this administration, he has been talking about reform here and there and some other aspects of generating revenue, like diversification of our economy. Instead of oil, we're not talking about diversifying to agriculture. When you are talking about diversifying into agriculture, and then we have security problem.
But I've not even seen the progress we've made in terms of agricultural diversification, apart from some few progress they've made in the rice production.
Yeah, see,
so far.
No, there is. You see, to me in CB, I see something like corruption, because if they will give you figures that look, they have invested so amount of money in agriculture,
which is not.
Take for instance like CBN now. CBN had anchor borrowers and some other programs like that. Then that is from the CBN. Then we have federal government in social intervention program too. All are directed towards boosting agriculture. But the question is that, are they investing in the right people? You understand? Because recently,
and the money is going to the right people.
Because recently CBN cried out that look, people took loan, this anchor borrowers loan, people are being paid, but instead of them to pay back now, they are now seeing it as if it's a part of their own national
benefit.
You understand? So, and some of them are run away. You understand? That is the problem we are dealing with. I see it more or less like a corruption. The corruption is eating too deep into every
sector, yes.
And at every moment that the government will try to do one thing or another thing to make sure that they support, people will not take it as if it's their right to take it. And that is the situation with agriculture. Despite all the investment in agriculture, take for instance even the rice that you mentioned. Why do they invest in rice production? They invest in rice production not to end in itself, but to make it affordable. But can we justify the investment now? Is the rice now compared to the foreign rice that you are doing?
It's not even affordable. The one that is homegrown.
The one that is homegrown is not affordable. So now we decide to ask ourselves that look,
isn't it better to still keep importing?
Importing. So, but to some extent, if we had been importing till this very moment that Nigeria is suffering foreign exchange, where are we going to get the dollar for to import? That is another problem.
Well, let's move forward. The Daily Sun newspaper said our leaders united to rescue Nigeria, PDP. Atiku in dilemma as Wike continues to attack PDP. Ex-VP shocked by Rivers governor's uncompromising attitude, rejects advice to ignore him. Wike calls Ayu prodigal father. Over the weekend, we saw, like a few days ago, I think yesterday and the other day, we saw videos of the governor of Rivers State teasing the PDP chairman, saying that he called them children, and the children picked him from the gutters and made him a chairman of the party. And then, since he wants the party to fail, they'll help them fail. You know, I think the crisis in the PDP keeps getting worse by the day. What do you think Governor Wike wants, apart from the resignation of the PDP chairman? What do you think he wants to achieve with the resignation of the chairman?
Governor Wike, it's obvious that he's aggrieved.
Right.
He wants to be the flag bearer of the party at the 2023 election. He didn't get it. Then come to the running mate again. He didn't get it.
But he boasted that he didn't want to be running mate.
He's a politician, so it's like when you lose out from the top, the other option you shouldn't lose out too, and that is where he's aggrieved. So, to me, like since they had their meeting in London with Atiku, I believe that look, Yocha, you the party chairman, too should have acted like a elder statesman, not to talk. Whatever no matter how the provocation, he should have let it be. Okay. But he went as far as talking that he granted the BBC Hausa interview and he called them children. And you ordinarily should understand that, look, His Excellency Governor Nyesom Wike would definitely fire back. And that is exactly what he did now. The more they continue to talk, the more they are bringing out their disunity between Nigerians. And let's not forget that, look, the 2023 election is crucial. If PDP decide to continue on this path, definitely they will lose out. Definitely they cannot meet up.
Do you see a possible alliance with Governor Wike and the APC?
Well, from all indication, what I'm seeing right now, I see Wike more or less like remaining in PDP. It's not going to defect from PDP to say that to any other party, but he will weaken PDP, and then whatever other parties like Labour Party or APC, they will not take advantage of the infighting within PDP to their advantage. And I believe that is the pact that he has with both the Labour Party and APC.
So right now he's a freelancer who can do anything.
It's not like he has any interest in another party.
Well, I think the crisis in the PDP shows their unseriousness to tackle the issues of Nigeria, because if you're not able to put your house together, how do you think you can be able to manage the affairs of Nigeria?
Because you see, if you observe very well, since their defeat in 2015, it seems as if
they've not been able to get their house back.
They have not been able to prepare to say, okay, look, we are a political party. If they are a political party, not to serve a self-interest of one person, there's no way that Governor Nyesom Wike will hold them to
ransom. Yes, like this, just one governor.
Because of what? Immediately they lost out on power. You now discover that they are in disarray. Everybody continued to be on his own. Some of them left the party. It's not good for our democracy. Take, for instance, like
politics without ideology.
No, without ideology. Instead of this cross-carpeting here and there, they should have remained within the party and build the party. If PDP is operating like a political party, who is a governor that will challenge the party chairman? Because the party chairman now holds the key to the umbrella that hold every member of the party, including their political elected leaders, including the president. I think we have to like return that part.
Yes, because if you look at what happens in the US, the Republicans and the Democrats they
have been existing for over 100 years.
Yes, and they remain resolute in their parties, despite who is in power or not.
It's even run down to the family
lines.
To the family line.
Yeah, so
it's not because Donald Trump of Republican lost out, then the
now decamp to Democrat. No. That's not how it's been played. I think that's all we would have for this morning morning news brief. We thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to our social media handles. On Facebook, we are official Aspheric News. On Instagram, we are official Aspheric News. On YouTube, we are Aspheric TV. You can log into our website on www.asphericnews.com. Thank you for joining us, and watch out for tomorrow. Thank you.